I didn't have all the facts. I didn't know what was on the list, exactly how it was used. Were there liberal groups as well as conservative groups? I didn't have the facts. And it was in the hands of the IG, that the IG would do a thorough review of the matter, and when he had all of the facts, would report that to the IRS, to the Treasury, and to Congress. And so at that point, I didn't have anything concrete. I didn't have a full set of facts to come back to Congress or the committee with.
That answer would be more acceptable if you had not given the answer that you did in March 2012. When Congress asks you a question and then you say these words, there's absolutely no targeting. It seems to me that even given what you just said, you knew that Congress was concerned about this issue. You knew then that the information, you just said it had been corrected, but it seems to me that if you say to the Congress, absolutely not, absolutely no targeting, it seems to me that you would come back, even if it was a phone call or a letter or something. I mean, common sense. People, I mean, a reasonable person would expect you as the head of the IRS communicating with Congress to come back and do that. You didn't feel that way, though.
I mean, I guess I would repeat.
I don't want you to repeat.
In March,
I don't want you to repeat. I take it that you disagree with what I just said.
At the time I learned about this list, I felt I was taking the appropriate actions and that my course was the proper one, and I still feel that way today.
Well, I'm sorry, that's simply not good enough. It's simply not good enough, Mr. Shulman. The IRS conducted an internal investigation of its own. Not the IG investigation, but your own investigation. You personally knew there was a target list. You knew it said Tea Party on it. You put new processes in place, and you took personnel actions. You reassigned at least one individual back in 2012. Come on, Mr. Shulman. I mean, help us help the taxpayers. Am I missing something?
So
did you have an investigation? Was there an internal investigation?
I never understood that word of internal investigation.
Did you ever reassign at least one person back in 2012?
Not that I was aware of.
You don't know that?
To the best of my knowledge, I was not involved in the reassignment of people in the determinations unit. I have no recollection of that.
So when you learned about the targeting, apparently you made some kind of inquiry because you said you found out that it had been resolved. Who did you go to and who told you that it had been resolved, and what did they say the resolution was? You were the head of the IRS.
I was the head of the IRS.
And you got Congress people that were upset about targeting. They had been asking questions. You had come and said there was absolutely no targeting. And so help me with this.
Yeah. First of all, I mean, let me express this is a very serious matter, and I fully recognize that. This was a 90,000 person agency, and this was a unit that was working on applications by definition for organizations that had political activity. My general operating style as the only one of two presidential appointees in the building was to have the responsible career officials be the hands-on people in sensitive case matters that involve political activity. So my deputy informed me of this.
And who was your deputy?
Steve Miller.
Okay.
And at or about the same time, he informed me that we found this list. It had Tea Party on it. I have no memory of having knowledge of what was on the list, what else was on the list. To the best of my understanding, didn't know how it was being used, didn't know if it also had the target word progressive on it. He said, look, it's not being used anymore, it's being stopped. The IG is looking into it, and I was aware that some of these cases were languishing because we had gotten letters from Congress, and he said, and we put extra people on there and we're moving cases. That's my memory of this. And as I said, once the IG has this, my practice was to support IG reviews and investigations, but not interfere with the full confidence that he would get the information.
But this has nothing to do with interfering with an IG investigation. This is merely coming back to Congress. You got to understand why I'm getting to this. Remember in my opening statement, I said two words, just two. Truth and trust. And we want to be able to trust the IRS, but for this moment, on this day, we need to be able to trust your word. And what I'm